trying a new setup, different camera, different position, and I guess we'll see how it goes. But I thought I'd sit here next to my TBR shelf because, and there are like two shelves of it, but the bottom ones I had to put sideways, so they're not very pretty. Um, but I just wanted to put together my Orillium TBR. So this is super exciting. So, Orillium is a magical land created by G at the Book Roast, who I'm going to link down below. And she has this RPG like readathon, which she puts together twice a year. And you get to study in an academy for potential future careers. So, last year, I fulfilled that year's requirements for math magician, risk architect, and scribe. And this year, I kind of wanted to do something the same and something different. So I picked out books for math magician, which is someone who does magic with maths, as it sounds. Rift architect, which is someone who makes portals, and Feywild cartographer, because I thought like all that maths and portal making, like having maps would be quite useful. And if I manage all those, because I'm having a stonking reading year, and I think it's because I've been doing more DNFing. I'm just like, I don't have to hate it if I'm not feeling it, if I'm not loving it, it's going, I'm not bothering. So if I've got a stretch goal of a craft mage as well, because I'm super into crafting. And in particular, I thought it's my birthday coming up, and I thought I would I thought I'd do a cross stitch bookmark tally of where I'm at with books through the year from my 45th birthday to my 46th birthday. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so here we are. So there are some books that I really want to get onto this TBR. Oh, this readathon, because as a community, everyone did brilliantly last month. The readathon runs from the 29th of July to the 31st of August, so it's slightly more than a month. But I will just not worry about getting everything finished by the 28th. Just anything I start after the 29th, I'll count. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I do have some library books which I want to bring. Or want to fit in, hopefully. I've got some that I've got out at the moment, which I'll probably ebooks, which I'll probably finish before then. And I've got 3 physical books which I just got out today, which again I probably might be able to fit 1 or 2. Like, it depends on whether I read them earlier, because I probably can't read all 3 between then and when they're due back on the 5th, but we'll see. So the ones I have to fit in are Spellbound by F.T. Lukens. This is 2 apprentice magicians who get stuck in a turf war between their magicians they're apprenticed to, and I think there's a romance plot. So we'll see how that goes. The Chosen Queen. This is for my 12 and 12 from in 23, 12 from 12 and 23 list, which is about Queen Edith, who is the wife of King Edward, and it's a trilogy of the wives of the men who were king in 1066. So this is the first one, and it follows their perspectives, and apparently it's quite flippy, like where your allegiances lie through the course of the trilogy. So it sounds quite interesting. And this is the first one. And this is Dreams Bigger Than Heartbreak by Charlie Jane Anders. Now, I noticed that I hadn't read any of the Lodestar Award for Young Adult nominees, so I've ordered all of them from the library, and this is the first one. This is about an artist in space who's going through a bit of a dry spell, a bit of a, what do you call it, when you just can't and how she gets out of it. I think yeah, and how she gets through space and comes out the other side, hopefully out of her slump. So I think I will probably save this one for the readathon, just because I think it goes through a couple of the prompts. But this one and this one, if I get to them first, if I have energy and time to read them first, I'll read them first. Got Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, which is about people doing national services witches. The Atlas 6, which I think is also, I don't remember anything about that. The Adventures of Mina Al Sarafi, Scandal and the Phantom Rider, and Sailor Proof, Blood Marks. All of those should come in within that month. So I'll try and squeeze those in when I can. But the ones that are going to come sooner, I'll definitely plan to put in. So I'm going to start with what I need to do for Math Magician, and then I'm going to add on what extra I need for the extra careers as we go. So for Math Magician, the first one is an O in Alchemy, first in the series, and I've got this massive 6-book, well, it's not massive, it's 6-book series of space opera, which if I don't like, it's just taking up space. So I'm going to start, I always say that, and one day I'll actually get around to reading this. The first one of that is called Dauntless. The second for Math Magician is Psionics, for which is a random tarot generator. Random tarot generator, which I'm going to hop on here. And I got Death. So I had actually, when I was practicing, I had a look through these and I found that I noticed this one's got a sun. So I picked up the Sun and the Void because it's got the same symbol. So I think this is an enemies to lovers fantasy romance. I think it's super queer. So I'll just give that a go and see how it goes. Or I'll probably bump it. But you know, yeah. Okay. The next one is Inscription, and all my career paths need something for Inscription. So the first one, Book 0, is booked from the end of year TBR. Still got several books from my 12 from 12 in 2023, and one of them that I already have is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So that's what I'm going to put in for my book from my end of year TBR. The next one is a shield on the cover or title, and there is, in one of my books which may or may not come in time, has a shield. He's a sailor, he's got a shield on his head, and it's called, hang on just one moment, Sailor Proof by Annabeth Hamilton. Can you see he's got a he's got a shield on his head, and that is a queer romance, someone who thinks they're never going to find love, and then they take a pretend boyfriend home, and maybe they fall in love with him along the way. Or the other one I've got, which is more guaranteed to come in with a shield on the front cover, is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. There's her shield, and this is a sci-fi Viking. So I might leave that towards the end just to see if my sailor comes in which case I'll do that one instead probably, but we'll see. The next one is Rift Architect thing, which needs the Q and Inscription, which was my Andy Weir and Adrienne Young. And the other ones is it needs a D in spell, so that's 3 books level. So the first one is a manga or graphic novel, and I have Welcome to St. Hell by Lewis Hancock coming in the post, so that will be my graphic novel. The next one is a black cover or cover on fire and this one is almost guaranteed to come in on time. I've got Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is both black and on fire, and this is about people doing their national service as witches in service of the Queen. And the next one is To Read in Silence. So I'm using that as a bit of a wild card, like whatever I happen to pick up, I just won't talk while I read again, which I mean is normally for me, and I won't listen to music. I don't normally do that anyway, unless it's like an audiobook. So obviously that one will not be an audiobook for obvious reasons, but it will be as silent as I can make it. And also a Q in Conjuration. That's the other thing I need for Rift Architect. So one of those is I need a court or royal book. And that's what I think I'm going to use this one for, Chosen Queen. Because it's historical fiction, but it's absolutely the life of a queen doing her queenly things. And then inspired or set in a different culture or country. I feel like this could probably be most of these. So I'll probably put in one of my library holds. I've got The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi coming in, which could fit in there. My Sailor romance book, he's American, so that could fit in here. I could pick something out, but I'm somewhat inclined to just say, well, I'll definitely use one of the ones from my library holds there, just so I've got balance of ebooks and physical books. Okay, and then for fake cartographer, I need an O in astronomy, which is a word in the title from my last song. And to open up Spotify, and here I am opening up Spotify. And you can see that the last song I listened to was Dear Theodosia. That's because I went running today. It's parkrun day. And I have My Dear Hamilton. And maybe some of you don't run to Hamilton. I always run to Hamilton. Hamilton is my exercise music. So I've got My Dear Hamilton, which is not only has the word dear in the title, like Dear Theodosia, but it's also Hamilton linked. So I feel like that's super appropriate. And I didn't cheat. It really was the last song that was playing as I finished my run, because I skipped a couple of tracks earlier. Okay. The next one I need is Demonology, which is the first book I see on Goodreads or Insta. Now, I did cheat a little bit here in that I went to look at Goodreads and Insta and see which one was more likely. And honestly, my Goodreads page is a bit of a mess, like everybody reading all sorts of random, like 5th book in a series that I'm not interested in, or like many books about Doctor Who, which is fine. But so I'm going to open up my Instagram, and I'm not quite sure because I've got private and personal accounts mixed. So I'm just gonna, that's my cousin, that's an ad. Oh, here is the Bright Side Girl. Oh, can you see it? And she's got this beautiful, which you can't see, but here, Fear the Drowning Deep by Sarah Glenn Marsh. So I'm going to go ahead and order a copy of that, because that looks perfect. Actually, I don't think I've heard of it before, but it's obviously a mermaid book. It's obviously scary mermaids, so who doesn't love a scary mermaid, really? Okay. And that is everything for fake cartographer. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books here. One coming in the post. Yeah, so hopefully that's 11 books that I've just told you about. So my stretch goals, if I get all of those done, then I'm also going to add on Craft Mage, which also needs a Q&A inscription, and a D in Artificery. So that's 3 extra books. The first one is a gemstone in the title or the author's name. and I haven't really thought this through. It was used by Alexandra Bracken. Christina, that's not gemstone. What have I don't have a single book on my TBR, my physical TBR, that has a gemstone in the title or a gemstone name. So I'm going to have to find one of those, aren't I? An adventure book, which I thought I could go with this one, which is a children's from 8 to 12. It's got lots of drawings. Some children in a plane crash who have to survive. So that's pretty adventurous. And then a pet on a cover. And I'm a little bit sad that I've just finished the things we do to our friends because the snake. Hang on, let me grab it because the snake on the cover looks just like my pet snake. I have just finished, and it's got. It could be my Hephaestus on the front. So I'm a bit sad that I've just finished it and I can't use it. But it was a really great book, so I'm not sorry I read it. I'm just sorry I read it too soon. Just sorry I read it too soon. I probably would have saved it if I'd known this was coming. Aha, this one's got animals on. But I do not have a dragon, a jaguar, or a phoenix as a pet. Never mind. It's got wings, it's got a tree. Oh my goodness, I really did not. Oh my goodness, I really didn't think this one was going to be difficult. This one's got birds, but it's got wild birds. This one's got fish, but also they're clearly fish in the sea, so they're clearly not pet fish. I don't have a single book on my TBR, my physical TBR, or my books coming soon that has a pet on the cover, so I'm going to have a think about that one. The gemstone and the pet before I get that far. And fill them later. But, you know, I do have my birthday coming up, so who knows? Okay, so I know Tobit's dog. That must have a dog on the cover. She's got a dog in the name, and I really want to read that. So maybe that's the retelling of the Book of Tobit, in which Tobit goes for a walk with his dog and comes back from the Bible. So it's like Bible fanfic or historical fiction. I'm not quite sure what genre that counts as. We'll see. So hopefully that will keep me occupied for August. Are you guys doing Orillium? Oh, here's my baby. Hello, baby. Say hello to the camera. And we will see you again soon. Apparently, she just wants to say hello to me. We'll see you soon. Bye.